overload.
Meanwhile, we'll have you go out and get that fifth floor.
So if you want to go to Waterfall next, just head backwards and probably go a little park when you're at exit. And then Waterfall is going to be tucked away on your left-hand side, right next to a restaurant called Hollywood and Dine. Welcome everybody joining us here on the world famous studio tour. Right now the wait time is about an hour. The ride itself does take about an hour to complete, so just know that you're going to be here for about 2+ hours out of your day. Now we are celebrating our 60th anniversary celebration, so that means we have special things that we're doing out on the tour that we usually do not do. So y'all are here at a great time, and we are only celebrating the 60th anniversary for the limited time.
Don't reach the floor. Now would be a good time to move them towards the center of the tram. Please watch your hands and feet as the tram gates are closing. Welcome to the Universal Studios Hollywood. Universal Studios Hollywood. And welcome aboard our 60th anniversary studio tour. Our driver Delia just joined us. My name is Corey and I'll be your guide today as we head out to the lot for the next hour or so. We will be going behind the scene guest assistance or have a medical emergency. If you drop something of value off the side of the tram or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and if at any time during the tour you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour. Be prepared, our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You want to have your cell phones and cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so that they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board. Now, before we get too far, I'd like to let you know that we are on our 60th anniversary studio tour, and here to help us kick off this celebration is Master of Ceremonies and host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking, why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 60 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, Get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Thank you, Jimmy. Now, on March 15, 1915, our founder Carl Lemke invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made. Guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. But with the invention of sound and the need for quiet on set, the original walking tour ended. In 1960, under the leadership of company chairman Lou Wasserman and executive Al Dorskin and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned. When the Great Line bus tours originating in Hollywood made a stop at our gates. On July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white candy-striped glamour trams took 67 passengers on a 2-hour driving tour of the Universal lot. And the world-famous studio tour was born. We started with 2 drivers, 2 guides, and 1 ticket seller working out of a trailer on Lancashire Boulevard. From there, the studio tour expanded with fantastic, one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the burning house and the rock slide, which were in this area of the lot back in the 1970s and 80s. We thought by now we might have hover trams, but these are pretty cool too. You're on board our newest version of the tour vehicle, the electric tram. As we continue our commitment to creating zero-emission studio fleet, electric trams get their power from wireless inductive charging pads, just like the ones for your cell phone, only much larger. And like an electric car, we have regenerative braking. Every time we go downhill during this tour, we are building a charge. Now, we're no stranger to innovation. When it comes to our tour vehicles, we started with the glamour trams in 1964. In 1983, we upgraded to super trams, allowing us to carry more guests and experience more thrills. In 2000, we added onboard video, turning the tram into a movie theater on wheels. Let's see where the studio tour will take us today. Now we start off by heading into the front lot where we're driving in between the studio and the theme park. On your right-hand side is Super Nintendo World, home to Mario and Luigi, the stars of our biggest film of 2023, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. This is also where the studio tour guest once had a chance to explore facets of Hollywood not accessible to the public before 1964. In the 60s and 70s, they could visit the dressing room of comedy legend Lucille Ball, step into the office of Oscar award-winning costume designer Edith Head, or drive through the prop warehouse on the tram. By the 1980s, this was the home of the Preview Center, a popular stop on the tour that included the special effects stage, an interactive show that featured actor Robert Wagner as its video co-host. On your left coming up, you're going to see some sound stages. And to tell us more, here's our next 60th anniversary guest from the Peacock series Bel Air, Jabari Banks and Ollie Sholotan, to tell you a little bit more about their show.
Leaving the theme park behind and entering the front lot where real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you, even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with excited guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who
Or what?
you'll see on the studio tour.
Was 2 of the stars of the show Bel Air, which you can stream right now on Peacock. Coming up on your right-hand side, we're passing by several more sound stages, starting with stage number 16. This is a part of a cluster of stages often referred to as the television stages. We call them that because they've been home to some pretty well-known shows like The Jeffersons, the original One Day at a Time, and one of my personal favorite shows, Never Have I Ever. Created by Mindy Kaling, starring Maitreyi Ramakrishnan in the leading role of Davy. Never Have I Ever is a hilarious high school comedy. Character of Davies just unhinged in all the best ways. I really can't express my love for her enough. You can stream all 4 seasons right now on Netflix. But beyond the sound stages are these small bungalows coming up on your left-hand side. And here is Chris Meledandri to tell you all about them.
In the early days of the studio, these bungalows were used as dressing rooms to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Now, they're used as offices where some of Hollywood's top directors, writers, and producers work their magic to get a production ready, including my company, Illumination. At Illumination, we've made some of the most successful animated films in box office history, including Despicable Me, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Minions, Sing, The Grinch, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And the team is hard at work again as we launch our next film, Despicable Me 4.
Hello, everybody. There's my boy. I know you love your dada. Go on, say it.
Yes, of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face or with his body language.
We've had some really good sequences in Despicable Me movies. The heist of the Honey Badger is now officially my favorite.
On your left-hand side, we're passing by the soundstage for Lopez versus Lopez, and we are approaching our Metro sets. So here is Jimmy Fallon to tell you a little bit more.
About to cross the imaginary boundary onto the back lot, where we have exterior sets for many outdoor scenes. Over the last 60 years, studio tour guests have seen these locations turned into big cities, quiet suburbs, even that guy's hometown. Yeah, that guy. For countless movies and TV shows. This is Universal's Metro sets.
Coming up on your right-hand side, you're going to start to see our Metropolitan sets. These can be used to portray any city in the world, big or small. This grassy area coming up is often used to portray Central Park. It's right next to Brownstone Street, which is where the character Mindy Lahiri lived in the Mindy Project.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2050.
And now is an excellent time to welcome you all to Courthouse Square. Right now we are entering Hill Valley from the Back to the Future films starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd, and Leigh Thompson. This is Courthouse Square. It's also been home to a number of other movies, including Gremlins and To Kill a Mockingbird. Now, on your left is the clock tower where Doc Brown harnessed the bolts of lightning that sent Marty McFly back to the future. And on all of your sides, you're going to see some of the incredible architecture that the lovely production designers have dreamed up here. Now, in between each movie and TV show that films in Courthouse Square, there's actually a lot of variety. You might not be able to recognize it in everything you see it in, because the production designers come in and they meticulously change and design things to look completely different, to fit the time period, the mood, and the vibe of the film. This can include things like changing up the paint colors, changing out the brick, changing out the signage. If you want this to be an entirely different part of the world, you can even change the language to indicate which country you're in. It doesn't have to be right here in the heart of LA. You can be wherever you want. We are now heading out of Courthouse Square and soon turning in to New York Street. Now, Courthouse Square still has many facades that were built in the 1940s. The rest of the Metro sets are considerably newer. Redesigned and rebuilt in 2008. Before that, this area was home to a studio tour classic. Here's one of the stars of Universal's 2005 version of King Kong, Jack Black, to tell you all about it.
And self action. Did you know the Metro sets were once the home to Hollywood's biggest star? Right here is where the original studio tour King Kong attraction resided from 1986 until 2008. He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close you could feel his hot banana breath. Is that it? I can't believe that's my last line, and then the tram moves on to the next thing.
Yes, Jack. The tram will now move on to the next thing. But while we're on New York Street, I should point out some of my favorite comedies that have filmed here. Not only has it been used as a filming location in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but it has also been featured in the show Key and Peele, which you may know stars Jordan Peele, who turned out to be an incredible filmmaker. And later on in the tour, we're going to see some of the sets from Jordan Peele's newest film, Nope. So that's quite exciting. But as I said, New York Street has been home to a number of comedies, filming little cameos here on New York Street. Here at Universal, we love our comedies. And now, as much as I love comedy, I do think it's about time we take a turn to something a little bit more thrilling. Anyone want to take a trip to Skull Island?
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up to the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. How contemplated. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island. We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong. I mean, he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Skull Island, so he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles. The Universal tram is winding its way through the area.
Now is an excellent time to remind you to please stay seated and hold on tight to all of your belongings. Hold on tight to those bags. Hold on tight to those cell phones. And put on your 3D glasses. Welcome to Skull Island. King Kong 360 3D. Did everyone survive? Okay, car number 1 looks good, car number 2 looks good, 3 looks good. Car number 4 looks good. Oh, thank goodness. That doesn't always happen. Now, I want to share with y'all a little bit of the show Lopez versus Lopez, which films in stages 25 and 26, I believe, on your left-hand side, which we passed by just a little bit earlier.
The studio tour has changed over the years. Each generation has its favorite moments and memories, whether it's the rock slide or the ice tunnel. Who didn't love the ice tunnel?
Well, one thing that hasn't changed has been families sharing this one-of-a-kind behind-the-scenes adventure together.
How about picture card? Oh, that would be great to show.
Rose, we're going to lead over the Rose. What's the story? Well, there's this pirate.
The problem most men have is they just plain straight up have no clue how to talk to women.
What's happening? Hot stuff.
Thank you. I have no, it's great. Of course, you know me.
In this one time at band camp?
Houston, we have a problem. We're on a mission from God.
No! Gary Larson!
What is this? Hey, bud. Good party.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
He hates these cams!
Come out, wherever you are. We all go on our own match sometimes. Leave it on, gang.
What do they got in there, King Kong?
Get this body here. You're gonna need a bigger boat.
They opened Disneyland in 1956. Nothing was. Yeah, but John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists. Well, it's nice to find a fellow with a keen sense of humor.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Every time you bed down for the night, you...
Now, coming up on your left-hand side, you're going to see a body of water known as the Hollywood Ocean. Now, nowadays we call it Park Lake, but here in 1974 we added the parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour, inspired by the classic film The Ten Commandments, a Paramount picture. The star of the movie, Charleston Heston, made an appearance to part the waters for our guest. The glamour trams seem to drive right through the lake and give everyone on board a sea-level view. There have also been exploding water mines, torpedoes, and prop submarines as part of the action in the lake. And we're not the only ones celebrating an anniversary this year. 2000 2024 also marks the 70th anniversary of the 3D classic Creature from the Black Lagoon, which filmed here in our Hollywood ocean. It's part of our legacy of horror films and monster movies that stretches from Dracula in 1931 to the upcoming Dark Universe at Universal Epic Universe, opening next year in Orlando. But now we are entering Little Europe, where it all began. Now you may be thinking, what is this possibly modeled after? Well, Little Europe is actually modeled after Europe, of all places. Although you might find it to be more recognizable as The Good Place, from the show The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
On your left-hand side, we're passing by the railway station from the show The Good Place. Fans of the show might recognize it as the station that you go to get from The Good Place to the bad place. Or if you prefer, the medium place. Now, Little Europe has also been one of the original filming locations of a lot of classic monster movies. I'm talking way, way, way back in the day, black and white monster movies like Frankenstein, Dracula, and even The Invisible Man, who was standing on the right-hand side of the tram. Did you look? Ha 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 ha. Now, as much as I love talking about monsters, I do have to let y'all know that we are approximately at the halfway mark of today's tour. So I just want to remind everyone to stay seated for the entire duration of the tour. The studio is private property, and if you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the red cord to get my attention, and I will be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. But do please remain seated on the tram. Now, as I told you, Little Europe has been the original filming location for many a monster movie. We've got a lot of monsters in our collection here at Universal, if you could say so, including some on land, as well as some in the sea. Here's a little look at some of our monsters.
When we think of Universal, we think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
The Invisible Man,
Phantom of the Opera.
classic films. They're just brilliantly made.
That Frankenstein image, flathead, balls.
It's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror.
Now, once again, I'm going to remind you all to please stay seated as I welcome you to Amity, where every day is like July 4th. Amity was a popular New England resort town until they were terrorized by a great white shark. Oh, but would you look at that? We're just in luck. Looks like they caught the shark. Uh-oh. Ah. Now, if you look back at Bruce, you may be able to see he is swimming backwards. And Bruce is actually the only shark known to man or to me to be able to swim backwards. Bruce does this every single day for every single tram. But now we are leaving Amity Island and heading into a new area. So as we head into this classic attraction of the backlot, here is today's show co-host and weather anchor, Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it's truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968. Welcome to the only part of the backlot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
Well, it looks like Al was right about 100% chance of rain, huh? I can't say I've ever seen it rain this much in LA. Uh-oh. Watch out! It's a flash flood! Who could have seen that coming? And now let's take a look at how it appears on screen.
You can't outrun the wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that.
And now we are entering 6 points. Here's a little look at Jimmy Fallon to tell you about 6 points.
This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Jimmy Fallon.
Well, I ain't going anywhere, Jimmy Fallon.
Now look here. Nice folks in this tram don't want no trouble. They just want to check out 6 points, one of the oldest sets on the Universal lot.
I hear this is where John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart shot a few of their westerns.
That's right. That's where I aim to shoot here.
Looks like we got ourselves a Mexican standoff. Lucky shot.
Now what say you mount up and get out of town while the getting's good?
All right. Well, I'll see you again, fella.
Or you can count on it, fella. Now get.
This is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
We just have to talk it out, that's all.
Wow. Now that was some Oscar-worthy acting from Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Fallon. They are both so good, I almost couldn't tell them apart. Almost. Now, as Jimmy said, 6 Points is one of the oldest sets here on the Universal lot, although not too long ago. It was the filming location of Quentin Tarantino's Night, the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And coming up on your right-hand side, it's still 6 points, but now the backside of 6 points. Ooh. Now you see we have a lot of props hanging out outside here. One for ambiance, but two to help give them that more weathered look. You know, we have an entire prop warehouse here on the lot to keep props indoors in a temperature-controlled environment. But you know, when you want them to look old and rugged, it's fine to just leave them out here in the sun and the rain. We also got some hobby horses out here next to our little 60th anniversary sign. But now, as we head on back towards Amity Island, here's a little bit of Mr. Steven Spielberg to reminisce.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created.
I
I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better.
Coming up on your left side, we're passing by Colonial Street. Colonial Street is the residential neighborhood set here at Universal. It's where Never Have I Ever houses Davy. But from Colonial Street to Lion Estates, you may remember that the Lion Estates was where Marty McFly lived in the Back to the Future trilogy. Live in the home of tomorrow today. Those signs are replicas of the original props made for the 30th anniversary of the first film. One of the executive producers of Back to the Future was Steven Spielberg.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so...
On today's tour. But you know what's nice to hear about how he did it? It's fitting that towards the end of Spielberg Drive, we find one of the largest exterior sets from his hit film, War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise. I don't know if any of you have seen it. It's got a little bit of something for everyone in the family, especially if you're someone who likes a really intense movie, or someone who even perhaps can appreciate some good production design. We have production designer Rick Carter, who designed this. And I want to welcome you all to the crash site set of War of the Worlds. Large-scale sets like this have been on this part of the studio tour for several decades. Before production destroyed the suburban neighborhood for the film, it was Site B for Jurassic Park 3. Prior to that, it served as the whimsical Whoville for How the Grinch Stole Christmas. After every shoot, we made sure to make room for the trams so that they could drive right up and get a close-up look at these iconic sets.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision that Steve had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep pressing me. Listen, now, listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now closed. Mommy. Robbie, get in. Get in.
And that was a little look at the movie War of the Worlds. But now coming up on your right-hand side is a set that has been a highlight since the original 1964 studio tour. That is the home of Norman Bates from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. You have the house right here on your right-hand side. That was originally only built with the front and side wall because that was the only angle of the house that was going to be seen in the movie. But eventually we went ahead and... Now coming up next, shortly, is our official scale replica of LA's most iconic landmark, the Hollywood sign. While we are celebrating our 60th, the Hollywood sign has been commemorating its centennial year. Coming up on your right-hand side, you can't miss it. Now for the first few decades of the studio tour, one of our hallmarks was a visit to Prop Plaza where guests disembarked for a once-in-a-lifetime for once-in-a-lifetime photos and to interact with characters, vehicles, and props from their favorite productions. Well, guess what? Just for our 60th anniversary, we've brought that opportunity back. Now remember folks, this is a limited stop. When you are ready to continue your tour, simply follow the signs. We'll be boarding a different tram with a new studio guide. So remember to gather all of your personal belongings and your 3D glasses. You will need them when
Welcome folks, please watch your step on the way. Tram gates are opening. Please don't forget your 3D glasses as you do need them for
FBI, don't move. Neil, that's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not...
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out
Guarantee my safety, I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours.
Escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of something.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shell traced us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Okay, everyone, we better drive fast. They sounded pretty furious. I gotta remind you all to please stay seated and hold on tight to all of your belongings. And put on those 3D glasses. 3D glasses.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
After them!
Okay, guys, it's showtime. Come to the left. Stay moving fast enough. Roman, Letty, hook him up.
You're getting away! Find them!
Way to go, Letty. Don't run another missile shot. Not gonna happen. Don't worry, I got this. Roman, don't shoot. Head from the bridge. Under construction. Everybody hold the line. Ride or die.
Hollywood, we hope you've enjoyed this exclusive behind-the-scenes experience. That's been 60 years in the making. As we say here in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
All right, welcome everybody. That's your stuff.